what triggers an audit? What causes the IRS to start an audit?
First, I think if I were listening, I'd say, well, what are the chances of an audit? And it's
Oh,
very rare. So
okay.
if you go on to the web and you just type in Internal Revenue Service statistics, you'll get a link and it has historical data on audit risk. And it goes and breaks it down by year. It breaks it down by categories, such as if you're a partnership or a corporation or
Okay.
individuals. And then it breaks it down even further. If you're an individual, it segments it by your income level. And so if you look at your income level, you could sort of see directly exactly what your percentage of audit is. And it's very low. It's, I think, maybe under 2% risk for most individual levels of income. So of course, the higher your income goes, the higher your risk. But overall, the risk of audit for an individual is very low. That's just the statistics. So that should be comforting to a lot of people because an audit is very, very intrusive and very stressful. Yes.
Sure.
So back to the question of, well, what causes an audit? There could be various factors. The main one being what's called a discriminant function score, what's called a DIF score. And there are various elements, variables that go into this DIF score that would prompt an audit. I don't know what goes into the DIF score. That's something that's published by the IRS. It's a random number, and based on certain criteria, the DIF score will pop out certain individuals or entities that will then be selected for audit. And so that's one. It's just a variable function. Now, separately, there could be a manual survey of returns. When I worked for a certain division called the Global High Wealth Division, it focused on very high wealth individuals. They would actually pull certain individual returns from that population of very high wealth individuals, and they will just survey the returns, physically look at returns and say, well, let's look at this and this. If they saw certain things from their survey of returns that piqued their interest, they may then manually select and say, okay, based on our survey, we're going to pull these returns and they're going to be subject to audit.
Okay.
So there's the manual level. Then there's whistleblower. So if someone says, I have information, I personally know that this person or this entity has these things that I know that they're doing that's contrary to law. They would then write a summary up and then send that to the IRS. So now the IRS doesn't have a guess as to whether a return should be audited. They have specific information. So the IRS may take action on a whistleblower submission. Or the easiest one is a discrepancy between what a taxpayer prepares and reports on a return versus what a third party reports.
Oh, okay.
So an example could be,
you miss a 1099 or something like that.
Right. And sometimes that's innocent thing. You think you reported everything, you forgot one.